looking back to last year, I mean, how much good there was with it? How much can you, and obviously some frustrations and some adversity as well. What are you taking into this season?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking, because sometimes you just turn the page and there's so much. We're really proud of a lot of the things that happened last year. It was really magical in a number of ways. I mean, starting with coming to a new conference with 12 tournament teams and all kinds of newness and winning 17 out of 18 games, it's something that I think, not that we need credit, but like when you think about just the consistency of excellence it takes for our players to show up and get the job done, almost every night. So we're really proud of that. I think there were an insane amount of expectations all year that, kind of in an unprecedented way we all dealt with. And I think those players exceeded many, many of those expectations. But obviously the end was harsh in a lot of ways, to fall short of the ultimate goal, which was a national championship, to see Juju get hurt. But I think at the end of the day, it's part of our story. And it was, really valuable for what it was, and proud of that team. And it'll also be part of whatever happens next for us. I think we'll always look back at that year and how it shaped us.
It still has to give you confidence, though, knowing that you can come into a great league, not just any league, like the Big Ten in year one, and dominate the way you did. How do you use that blueprint into this year?
Well, I think what it did was set a standard, and so even though our starting, front court is off to the WNBA and Juju's out for a bit, there's still a standard and a culture around the program where the expectation is you win. It doesn't come easily, and it doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen, but I think each of these things establishes kind of what this program is and is going to be. When I took the job, the ultimate goal, like the moonshot, is to become the premier program in women's college basketball. And I say that with a lot of humility and how much work it takes and all the great programs that are there and, previous national champions. But as we're trying to become that, you have to just set these standards of excellence and say, okay, this is what it is. And we're going to recruit people who want this. We're going to coach people up to meet these goals and standards. And so, that's what it's going to be this year, no matter, even if the cast of characters is different.
Different cast of characters. Kennedy Smith is someone who I loved watching last year. What does a player like her bring to the floor for you?
So I love coaching her, and if you love watching her, the number one thing is she's a winner. I just, sometimes that's lost a little bit in college basketball now. She won in high school, she won in club, like she's a competitor, and that's what she brings above all else. She obviously was, an incredible defender from jump last year, but she was also really valuable to our team in a lot of ways. We had a hard time winning when she wasn't on the floor. Now I think you add to that an increased role offensively, and it doesn't mean just scoring. I do think she'll score more, but she's a facilitator. She's a energy player. She's a get the ball where it needs to go type of player sometimes too. All goes back to that winning piece. She's just a competitor and someone who really wants to win.
And there's a difference, right, between players who just want to score a lot of points and looks good on social media,
yes,
but did you win the game?
Correct.
And it's hard to find players nowadays that have that mindset.
Totally. She won a gold medal with USA AmeriCup team, and those were like the 12 best college players that were available to play, and she found her way into that starting lineup for the same reasons, right? Like she's hard to keep off the floor. She can play with other kind of superstars and not necessarily have to dominate the ball, but still really impacts the way other people can perform at what they do. And like I said, just a winner. So she keeps racking up the hardware, and we're hopeful that that's going to bode well for her and for us this season and beyond.
When it comes to USC basketball, I mean, Juju and USC has become so synonymous in basketball. And obviously, again, she's going to be out for a long time. But nonetheless, what does having a player like her in your program do for that identity?
It's something I think that probably doesn't get talked about enough because she's currently in college, right? And there's so many accolades. I mean, she's the reigning National Player of the Year, and the scoring and her blocks and her defense and all the things, right? But I think that the idea that a young person could make a decision to come to USC when we weren't in amongst the nation's elite, to do what she's done on the court individually and as a team with the winning, that her imprints are all over everything that we're doing. And I think that speaks, quite a bit to who she is and what she brings as much as the stats. Like the fact that no one else can replace her. We're not going to ask anyone else to do what she can do. But the idea that now there's a program that still expects to win when she's out, and we expect to win when she comes back, and then we expect to win when she's a WNBA All-Star, that I think just should be part of her legacy, to even right while she's in college, the impact that she's had on our program.
And And she's only going to be like a junior. I mean, she
Yeah,
still has all
exactly.
this time left, which
Exactly.
is insane. The impact she's had
Yes.
in such a short amount of time.
Exactly.
Who on your team are you looking to have to step up in
Uh-huh.
the absence of someone like her?
Well, I do think it's going to be collective, right? I think with something that's interesting, and preseason kind of polls and rankings actually don't mean very much to me because they don't count for anything and people don't really know, right? They don't have a good look. But what's interesting, I think, is I still think people expect us to be towards the top of this conference, but there wasn't anyone from our team on a preseason all-conference team, which means we got to do it as a group, right? I do think we'll end up having people on all conference teams, if I had to guess. But I think we have to do it as a group, right? It's not one person. But who are we looking to step up? I mean, obviously we start with Kennedy. We have Jazzy Davidson coming in, who is similarly a really unique talent, someone that is going to impact the college game right away. We have a couple of transfers who played significant minutes on good teams, like London Jones and Cara Dunn from Georgia Tech. So those are our only two seniors. And even though they're only with us for 1 year, we're expecting them to be seniors, and really use their experience. And then we have, I think, a front court more by committee, right? There isn't one Kiki who's going to give you 20 and 10 per se. There isn't Araya who's been with us for 4 years. There's a whole lot of athleticism and length, maybe in a committee that's going to come in. And so that's Kai Milton, who transferred from Auburn, and Viv Iwachukwu, who's a sophomore, and Laura Williams, who sat out last year with an ACL, who's coming back. And we have an incoming kid from Lithuania, Gerda Raulsatite.
Off the top.
Yes, there you go. So and Diana Mendez, who transferred from Washington State. So you get, I think, by committee, a style of play and a level of expectation that comes, so we need a group of people to help get us to where we want to go.
And from winning programs too, that
Yes.
know how to win at this
Exactly.
level, which is
Yes.
also big. Just looking at the league right now, when you look at player of the years at the end of the day, with this current landscape, who is the best player in this conference?
I mean, I think you have to look at Lauren Betts, who's, maybe a number one pick in the draft potentially coming up, and, someone who obviously did everything that she did last year in terms of most impactful and being game plan for. I think everything UCLA does centers around Lauren Betts, but, there's a whole season to be played, and we'll see, what happens going forward. But obviously she's someone that's going to be circled, in everyone's scouting report every single time.